Gentlemen, it's time once again to discuss things.
Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Geeky Gentlemen. With me today is Zazubar, and do you have a YouTube name or should I just use your real one? No? No reply. Yay.
Dorzard, you there?
Oh, was he talking to me?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm multitasking, so he said Zazubar.
Yeah, I said Zazubar and then I asked if you had a YouTube name or if I
thought the question was directly at him. Gorazard.
Gorazard. Okay, I'm gonna fuck that up. Can I call you by your real name?
Alright.
Okay, cool. Bill, David, and I'm Sid Part 2, aka Ian. So today, what are we talking about, Bill?
Well, today, Ian, we are going to be reviewing I think it came out in 2004.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're going to be reviewing the 2004. I'm not really sure whether to call it action, adventure, or horror, but we're going to be reviewing the movie Van Helsing.
See, I like that I ask you what we're reviewing, and then you ask me details about the movie.
No, I wasn't sure. I was like debating with myself, did it come out in 2005 or 2004? I was like, I was debating.
I find it funny, like I should really reply, I don't know.
So yeah, we're going to be reviewing the 2004 Hugh Jackman movie, since I can't really come up with a distinctive genre, Van Helsing, which was Universal's kind of a tribute to their old school monster movies, and also a new take on the Bram Stoker character Van Helsing, who first appeared in the novel Dracula.
Yeah. Alright, so right off the bat, this movie, I guess, goes under guilty pleasure since it's considered critically bad. And I know it's not a good movie, but I still really enjoy it, and I don't think it's as bad as people really say it is. That's just my general right-away opinion on it.
Yeah, I agree with you there. It's one of those movies where you watch it and you know, I don't say turn your brain off, but like you're just kind of like, wow, it's really CG heavy. There's a lot of cliches in it. The plot is really corny, but god damn it, it's fun.
Yeah. David, what do you think of Van Helsing? Just general right-away opinion.
I love it. I absolutely love it. This is exactly what I pay to see a movie at the theaters. You know, this is action, adventure, horror, everything I love in a ensemble film of multiple genres. You know, out of a film like this is exactly what I expected to, you know, receive out of my money. But I didn't pay to see this in theaters. I saw it when it came out on DVD. Actually, I saw it bootlegged. I remembered.
What are you doing something with your mic or something, David?
Nah, I'm probably too close.
Okay, it's cutting in and out a little bit.
Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah, I don't know. There's something about this movie. I know it's not good.
Yeah, I think.
But I don't think it's bad.
Yeah, and one thing that I think kind of saves it. Sorry for interrupting. I just want to say this quick because it connects with your point. The one thing that I think elevates it above really being undebatably bad is the acting is, for the most part, decent. Mm-hmm. Like, there's no awful performances in this, at least in my opinion. I think for the most part, everyone is either chewing the scenery big time, or they're at least trying. There's clearly an effort. Even if the effort is not exactly, you know, it's not original, but there's still an effort there. Like, I think Hugh Jackman, despite playing kind of a cliched action hero, I think that there's still he's still clearly trying, and I think that in and of itself elevates the movie above undebatably being boring and bad, and I think that's the big part of it. Yeah, I mean, there's the big thing for me, the big thing that annoys me with this movie is that there's so many goddamn cliches in it. It's just like, it's a very typical mid-2000s action movie. You've got the hero with the dark past, you've got the overuse of CGI with the creatures and the action stunts and the extremely like bombastic score. That being said, I actually do really like the soundtrack in this movie at points. Like,
well,
yeah.
the thing is, the soundtrack, I didn't even realize it was an original soundtrack. It feels very familiar.
Yeah, it definitely does. I agree, especially like during the action scenes. But I really like the Van Helsing traveling theme. I don't know why. You know, like that little guitar string riff.
Yeah.
I really like that little riff there.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the guy that makes this movie for me is Richard Roxburgh, who plays Dracula.
Yeah, he is awesome.
Just the best part of this movie for me. Hugh Jackman, he's Hugh Jackman. But this guy, it's that I don't know his face. Like, I could never imagine watching another movie with this guy because I'm just gonna look, oh, there's Dracula. I hope he, like, shit talks his wives.
Actually, funny enough, he's in, I only know this through the Nostalgia Critic, but he's in the movie Moulin Rouge, and when I saw him in the clips the Nostalgia Critic used, I had no idea who he was, and then he said it, and I'm like, he looks nothing like Dracula.
Yeah, that's
so
weird.
well, he changed his hair, he had a mustache, and you know, he kind of hit it. But yeah, I'm with you. This guy perfectly cast as a really hammy Count Dracula. I mean, he's nothing like the one from Stoker's book and the other past versions of Dracula portrayed by like Bela Lugosi and Christopher Lee. But he's so goddamn fun to watch. He's very charismatic. He's
I like accent. I think that's what really does it for me. It's got an accent that feels genuine as opposed to like, here's a guy trying to do a Romanian
Bela Lugosi impression.
Yeah. He's got a very like realistic accent the way he talks, and like I love the line he has where he's talking about the heartbeat and he's like doing the I don't know if to pick that up. Yeah, just it was a great scene for him. He does a really good job of. He's got that suave feel that I always liked about Dracula.
Yeah, he plays that very well. I love the ballroom scene where he's trying to seduce Kate Beckinsale's character, whose name I can't remember for the life of me.
Oh God, what is it? Anna? Yeah, Anna.
It's something with an A. Another very cliched character for you, and he's trying to like seduce her, and it's this great scene. And I also love the shot where like the camera turns around, you see that there's a mirror, and no one in the room is in the mirror.
That was cool.
Yeah, that was a really cool shot. And just he's perfect for this role. Clearly he's with his accent, he even kind of looks like him. He's clearly trying to throw back to Bela Lugosi and some of the more over the top roles that Bela Lugosi played. Since his Dracula was not very over the top, but other roles he played were very much so like this guy. So I really like that throwback, and it was something very cool for me, who's a big fan of Bela Lugosi.
All right, so David, what's your favorite part about this then?
I think Bill already knows the answer. My favorite thing about this movie are the action sequences.
Yeah, I figured that.
But I guess my favorite scene, or what I distinctly love about the movie in general.
Just the thing that like when you think about this movie, this is the part that you really enjoy thinking about.
It's very hard to say because the whole film for me is completely significant. When I think of Van Helsing, I think of Hugh Jackman in that leather trench coat, the little
Great costume.
Those spinal what do you call those things? The things that he used to rip off Dr. Hyde's hand.
Oh, the spiral saw kind of things.
Yeah. Those were cool.
Yeah, it's very hard to pick out one thing that reminds me that this is Van Helsing, because everything about this film is very memorable and significant to me, because this is a nostalgic movie for me, because I grew up watching this as a little kid. I watched this all the time when it came out on VHS, and of course,
this was on VHS. God,
yeah, really? I thought it was a year too late for that, because the newest VHS tape I have is Hulk 2003.
See, like, I still freak out when I see the first 2 or 3 Harry Potter movies on VHS.
I have those.
That's so weird.
Yeah, Prisoner of Azkaban was one of the first movies I ever got on DVD.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so, I got Van Helsing on DVD. I didn't know there was a VHS tape for it. That's so weird. That must have been the year that they stopped producing VHS tapes then, because that's kind of like, that was kind of like, even when I got Hulk, I was like, this is pushing the times a little bit. And yeah, I'll agree with David. It is a very nostalgic movie for me because it came out at a perfect time in my life. David, we did a chat about 2 months back about the Universal monsters and about the legacy of those movies. And Van Helsing came out at the peak of my Universal monster fandom. And
okay.
Yeah, and it was like perfect for me. And every scene I was like, that is so cool because that's a reference to this. The opening scene is a reference to the original Frankenstein. Oh my god, it's so goddamn cool. And when I was when I would have been like, I guess I would have been either 11 or 10 when I saw this for the first time. And when you're 11 or 10, you eat up action movie cliches. You just love them. They're awesome. And I mean, sometimes today they still are, but back then that was like, you lived for that. At least for me anyway. And this movie it had everything that an 11 or a 10-year-old or even just like an adolescent wanted. It's action, it's got gorgeous women, it's got a lot of high-octane, adventure and classic Universal monsters. It was like perfect for me when I was around that age.
And it's got naked vampire boobies.
Yeah, oh yeah, indeed. Oh god, I was so jealous of Dracula as a kid.
Well, that's actually my favorite scene with him. I already mentioned it once, but I'm going to mention it again, and I'll probably mention it further down the road. Just, oh, don't worry, I can get a new life.
Yeah. Oh my god, I love that scene. Yeah.
It's so like that's the thing. Some of the choreography in this is so seamless. Like how he's just walking up the wall.
Yeah.
It feels so natural, and like you mentioned, it's very CGI heavy. I think they, with the exception of the werewolf, which is still my favorite design for a werewolf, but it's the only one that I immediately recognize as completely CGI. With the exception of the werewolf, I think the CGI in this is done really well.
It's not bad CG. It's just it's so heavy in it, like Mr. Hyde at the beginning.
Yeah,
looks just like the Hulk. I mean, like 3 Hulk. The first werewolf, the one before Velkin and then before Van Helsing become a werewolf, the first werewolf does not look that good to me. Mm-hmm. He looks extremely cartoony, at least in my opinion. Maybe that's just because at that point in the movie we're kind of getting used to the way the movie looks. I don't know. I just don't like that werewolf, the way the CG is used. Velkin looks okay. I think the best looking werewolf of the 3 in the movie is Van Helsing. I think he looks the most like realistic and blends in the best with the environment.
Yeah, and I think that it helps that he has the darkest scenes and the least amount of time on screen.
Yeah, definitely.
The thing that I was getting at though, like the CGI on the characters is hit and miss. I suppose, because yeah, you got the werewolves, which are kind of and then you got Mr. Hyde, which is, and then you got the Bat Monster, which is probably really cool, but still. But the environments, you can tell a lot of these. I don't know, sets, backgrounds, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, most of them were sets.
Really?
Yeah.
There's no way Dracula's castle was all set.
No, Dracula's, well, the exterior was CGI, obviously.
Like, large parts of it were obviously, had to be,
yeah, for sure. But they built a lot of the lab stuff, which was,
that's fine. I'm saying Dracula's castle, like, I gotta imagine at least 50% of that was CG.
Yeah, for sure.
If not more, but I thought it looked fantastic. The only reason I could tell it was CG is because I knew it had to be for the time, and because of the scale of it. I'm like, there's no way they built that just to use in one shot. So that has to be CG.
Yeah, and the worst shot in the movie, in my opinion, with CG is a very specific one. The one where Anna, whatever her name is, and the little monk guy, what's his name?
I can't remember, but I know who you're talking about.
Van Helsing's sidekick and Igor go into that like dungeon thing where the cure for werewolfism is.
Yeah.
That shot looks horrible. Like, it looks so... And it's just such a simple thing. It looks so CG heavy.
What... Like, you're talking about the dungeon itself, or what?
Yeah, the one where you see, like, the antidote, like, floating around in that orb.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know why, but that shot bugs me because it looks like a video game shot.
A little bit, I can see what you're saying. It doesn't bug me. I have to think about it as you say it, and it works good to me at least. I
don't know. It's just the first thing. Whenever I see that shot, I kind of go like, oh my god, looks like a goddamn video game. Which, by the way, I had the video game for this movie, and it was fucking horrible.
I agree. I rented it, and I quit after the scene where you have to kill Dracula's first bride.
I didn't even get that far. I couldn't even beat Frankenstein's monster.
Really?
Yeah, I was just like, these controls are broken. And
it was a Devil May Cry ripoff. That was the
heavily. And yeah, it's just I think the best effect in this movie is probably Frankenstein's monster. I think
he does look really good.
He looks amazing. And I also love the elaboration of all the monsters in this movie. Like, Stephen Sommers directed this, and him and his production team really, like, take the classic monster designs and kind of run with them. And they I think they were self-aware that they were making an over-the-top movie. So they really kind of went crazy with the monster designs, and Frankenstein's monster, I think, is the biggest indicator of that. Like, he's got the electricity in the back of his head. When Van Helsing punches him in the face, his face, like, falls off, and then he has to push it back together.
See, the one thing I didn't like about the electricity is it looked good when it was in color, but the one shot where you see it in black and white really kind of ruined the atmosphere of that scene to me.
Yeah, you know? They should have kept it hidden, like behind the bandages and stuff. That being said, I love that opening. As I said earlier,
that is a great opening because it really cements it in with the rest of those old films in its own way.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing is, I loved Dracula. I loved how they didn't reveal Dracula's true form until the very last fight, but they kept hinting at it here and there.
Yeah,
like,
that was
him
cool.
gliding along with his brides and stuff like that. That was cool.
My only problem with that is that he's on the cover. So, it's like, it kind of ruins it. He's even on the poster, so, like, even before you saw the movie, you knew what Dracula looked like. I think if they would have kept him a mystery throughout all the advertising, it would have been more effective, but...
See, I don't have the DVD, and I never remembered seeing any of the posters. I think I saw this at a midnight opening for some reason.
You poor son of a bitch. No, I'm kidding.
No, I didn't, like, wait in line for it or anything. I just remember seeing it very late at night with my stepbrother.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I never remembered seeing any of the posters and stuff, so it always works for me. I don't own the DVD.
Yeah, I do. So whenever I put it on, it's also on the goddamn disc.
Really?
Yep, it's on the disc. So, I'm pretty sure he's on the disc. Like, I'm just remembering the disc, and it looks like that. Maybe Dave can help me out. Do you have the DVD?
I unfortunately do not. I was gonna buy the Blu-ray a couple days ago, but I kind of like went overboard with $100 and something.
Oh god. Yeah. So okay. Apparently, I'm the only one here who like owns this thing legally. So yeah, it's I think he's on the cover, but whatever. It's not really important. In terms of the movie itself, it works well as almost like the movie itself is not a horror movie, like clearly not. So I do think. No, not really. It's more of an action movie, and I think that having Dracula's true form not be revealed is still kind of a cool throwback to the horror elements of it. Mm-hmm. So I think that I do think that's cool. That being said, I do really enjoy this movie. I'm with Ian that I think that it's a good guilty pleasure kind of movie. It's a good popcorn movie. I think that if you just want to watch something that's entertaining, that's a cool throwback to the old classic monsters, I think it's cool for that. I'm going to get into my biggest problem with this movie, and I don't know if you guys are going to share this. It totally, I find it very disappointing in how they redo Van Helsing. Because the character is not the same at all. Like, nothing. And very little to none of the original Stoker character is in Gabriel Van Helsing. And
that's why his name is Gabriel, not Abraham.
Yeah, but the word Gabriel is not in the title though. So they're marketing it as we're using Stoker's character to turn him into an action hero, which is fine. I just wish that he was an action hero who wasn't... He feels very cliched to me. And I don't think Van Helsing has to be.
See, I'm trying to remember what... I'm gonna Google this, see if I can find it. But the thing is, I remember reading Dracula, and it was almost a running gag, I have to imagine, in the book, where you would read Van Helsing's letters to people, and he would sign them, and put all his titles in his signature. Doctor, PhD, pharmacist, like, it went on for like a paragraph of this man's credentials.
Yeah. And this Van Helsing clearly doesn't have that. And
that's the thing, so like, I'm not sure if you could make that Van Helsing into an action hero, because wasn't he supposed to be an old ass man?
Well, no, he doesn't have to be. He could be right out of college.
Oh, right.
And I was actually thinking that's the Van Helsing I'd like to see, is one that's young, and is like, he just became a vampire hunter, just became a monster hunter, and he's new at this. That's the Van Helsing I think could be really interesting to see on screen.
See, and I'd agree with that, but I do like the air of mystery to this character, because like they mentioned that he remembers fighting the Romans and stuff like that, and he was apparently like, I don't know, somehow connected to Dracula's past. That was so strange
and convoluted.
Yes.
They don't emphasize it strongly in the film, but Dracula reveals that Van Helsing is an incarnation of the Archangel Gabriel.
Oh.
Which is cool and makes sense for his character, and it's not well emphasized, and that's a problem for me, because that's a major plot element of the movie. It's brought up early on, they pick it up constantly, the fact that he has a dark past, and they never really put a cap on it.
Well, no, I do remember the line Dracula saying, "It must be hard to be the left hand of God."
Yeah, but it's just one line. And it's supposed to be like this major like arc for Van Helsing to find out about his past and what it means to him, and we never really get a solid conclusion for that. And my only guess is that there was supposed to be a sequel that was going to do that, though it never happened.
Yeah, I mean, they did heavily hint that they were going to make a sequel, but this was just such a critical failure. Just all the critics, except for Roger Ebert, hated this movie.
Yeah, and David, me and you know Roger Ebert's thing with monster movies, so even then, he didn't like it for the reasons that you would want him to. He was kind of looking at it as like, it's so bad it's a good movie. Like,
I read his review of it, and he said he praised it as a really fun movie that knows it's kind of silly.
Yeah. And, but I don't know if that's I'm not sure if that's fully what the filmmakers are going for. I think partially they knew they were making something that was over the top, but even then, they still try to have a little bit of, like, pathos in it, and it doesn't really work, in my opinion. I don't know if you can have both successfully.
True. I don't know, I think that you can make something that is trying to say something somewhat interesting, or is trying to do something somewhat interesting. But there's this major hurdle that the movie has to overcome, and without having that there, it wouldn't work as well. The thing is, it's very hard to take all these different characters that exist together in people's minds, but have never really existed together all that well. You got Dracula, Frankenstein's monster, the Wolfman, you got, I don't know, what else is in this besides that? You got, like...
Mr. Hyde.
Yeah, and like, the only thing you need to really round this movie out is the Invisible Man and,
the Gill Man.
Yeah, well, God, if they put Monster from the Black Lagoon in here, it would have been like, the fuck are you doing?
Well, the thing with that is that it wouldn't make any goddamn sense, because the creature from the Black Lagoon lives in the Amazon. So it's like, unless Dracula's like down in his lab, he's like, and Igor comes in, is like, so we got a shipment from the Amazon, and he opens up a crate, and the creature like pops out.
Well, it's just like, that's the thing, is these all exist in the same world in people's minds, but has there ever been a movie to do them all really, really well and take it as a, like, completely dead serious movie?
What was that?
has there ever been a movie to take all these characters that exist in the same world in people's minds, to put them all in the same movie and have it work really, really well?
You said take itself seriously?
Yeah, and completely seriously. Not a...
Oh crap, no. Because I was gonna say the Monster Squad, but no, that's a comedy. Okay, not all of them. House of Frankenstein has the big three.
Okay, so Dracula, Wolfman, and Frankenstein's monster.
Yeah, but they don't share any screen time together.
See, then that doesn't count to me.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. And then they had a sequel, House of Dracula, which is an ever-loving piece of shit. So yeah, it's never really been done well, and I think that it has. I think that they deserve it. I think that they're big enough.
I think that this is the best. Like, that's the thing. I've talked about this movie with friends before. I think that this is probably some of the best you could do, combining all of these characters into one movie and having it at least be somewhat seriously. But they obviously know they're not making. You know, this is not film. This is a movie. Let me put it that way.
Yeah, for sure. But I still think that you can make a really solid film with these characters, and I just don't think that it's been done yet. And I think that they are doing a reboot for Van Helsing.
Yeah, but it's got Tom Cruise in it, so it's gonna be bad.
It's also being written by the same people who wrote Transformers, so yeah, it's got a double whammy. And the thing is that, like,
let's just flush that movie down the toilet now.
Yeah, and also it's going to be a major Dark Knight ripoff, because in the article I read about it, the only thing they seem to talk about is how much the Dark Knight inspired the script.
Oh, good.
So it's going to be like, we're going to have a scene of like Dracula in an interrogation room, and Van Helsing comes in and like smacks his head on the table. Where are they?
Oh my god, that was perfect. That's absolutely perfect.
No, Bill. We're gonna do that scene right now. You'll be Van Helsing, I'll be Dracula. Go.
Where are they?
I want to tell you, but I have to suck some blood.
Where are they?
You have all these rules, and you think they'll save you.
I only have one rule.
Well, that's the rule you're going to have to break in order to save one of them.
I'm considering it. Oh, Jesus.
Dude, I want Tom Cruise to be Van Helsing. No. I want Tom Cruise to be Van Helsing in a Batman costume. And just not mention it at all.
Like, don't even pretend it's not happening. Well, wouldn't that be then Tom Cruise playing Batman? Well, they just call him Van Helsing and he has the accent?
Pretty much.
Oh my god, a Batman voice with that accent. Let me see if I can do it. Where are they?
No,
I can't do it. I can't mix two impressions in one.
I don't know. I honestly think this is the pinnacle of what you can do with all these characters. I disagree with Bill. I don't think that you can put all these characters that were clearly never meant to exist in the same universe, but that everybody thinks exist in the same universe because of all these old movies. I don't think that you can combine them in a legitimately interesting way.
Yeah, I don't agree at all, but I don't know. It hasn't been done yet, so I have no evidence. Maybe one day it'll happen, and I can trample Ian in the dust like I've always dreamed.
Bill, here's the thing. It hasn't been done yet, but it's been tried so many times.
Well, okay, let's take that then, and let's see. You have House of Frankenstein, which is not bad. They just don't show up on screen at the same time. House of Dracula sucks. Then you've got the Monster Squad, which is an awesome movie, but is a comedy. There was a TV show in the 70s, but that was a comedy too.
What, the Monsters?
No. There's a TV show called The Monster Squad, but it has nothing to do with the movie. It was on in the 70s.
Oh, wait. Let me ask you.
Yeah.
Addams Family or Monsters? Go.
Monsters.
Really? Addams Family?
Why?
Because they're creepy and they're quirky.
Yeah, but Ian, we're the Munsters.
Bill, they have a jazz theme. It's awesome.
Yeah, but we have a rock theme. Well,
And Gomez wears a freaking zoot suit, dude. It's awesome.
Yeah, but Herman Munster is the Frankenstein monster, so bad.
They own a chicken, don't they?
Then the Munsters doesn't make any sense. How can Frankenstein sleeping with a vampire produce a werewolf?
Because science! Have a pet invisible dragon.
There's a hand that just walks around the house. It's awesome.
Ian, I have 2 words for you. Grandpa Munster.
I have 2 words for you. Uncle Wesker.
They should get in a fight. No, it's Uncle Fester, not Uncle Lester.
Sorry, I fucked up. Anyway, I gotta watch
Yes,
the
you
Addams
did.
Family.
You should be shot for it.
No. I remember watching, like, did you ever see the reboot they did of the Addams Family show in the 90s?
No. I've
actually-
never really watched the Addams Family specifically. I've seen them cross over with Scooby-Doo. That's about the extent of it.
Well, the thing is, they did a reboot of the show back in the 90s, and it was alright. But the greatest episode is when death came for Gomez, and they had, like, gifts for the dude and shit. They, like, gave Death a gift basket, and it was great.
Yeah. You see, the thing about I always loved about the Munsters, and we're getting completely off track, but I don't care. The thing I always loved about the Munsters, and I'm not sure if the Addams Family really did this, is that you've got a family of the classic Universal monsters, and not only do they not really know that they're monsters, not only do they not care, but they act like they're basic members of American society. Like the dad works at a used car shop, the mom is a homemaker, the son is a Boy Scout, the niece is the normal looking girl, and she's she's the most popular girl in school, and then you have Grandpa, who's a crazy old man.
I don't know. Well, the Addams Family is very much the same way. They don't understand that not every family is like this, and they treat themselves like this is completely normal. You know?
Yeah, but I don't know.
It works for me. The only one that's self-aware of how creepy they are is Wednesday. She's like this, Black Widow serial killer kind of thing, and I say Black Widow incorrectly because she never got married, but still. All right. Anyway, back to Van Helsing. David, you've been quiet.
What happens to me in these things?
Yeah, he always gets shot down.
Oh,
It's a trend. Dude, what do you think of the Frankenstein monster?
I like it. Oh, are you asking David or me?
I was asking David, but it's okay, and you can jump in.
No, David, go ahead, because Bill and I have been talking.
I'm thinking right now. I'm thinking about that question because I kind of have mixed feelings about the design. I mean, I love the fact that they went with an update on the classic Frankenstein look, but it just doesn't.
Do you think it's too over the top? At least, like, here's where I think it kind of goes overboard. He has like a giant gas exchange on his knee that pumps out steam. I think that's taking it too far.
Well, didn't the Frankenstein monster always have a limp?
No, not originally.
I swear he did in didn't he have a limp in Bride of Frankenstein?
Yeah, because he got thrown down a windmill.
Well, that's the thing, is this one fell down a windmill. No, wait, that was after he had...
Yeah, but even in the opening, he still walked with the limp.
Yeah, I know. I just realized that after saying it.
It's okay.
Yeah, I think that was... I agree, that's a little excessive, but it's not like you see him walking all that much.
He swings across a rope and then shimmies along a wall. I mean, you see it and also here's the other thing. When he's in the cloak, he walks perfectly normal.
Oh yeah.
So it's it's hit and miss for me. I really like the religious angle they take with it because that's what the Frankenstein monster did in the book. He has a Bible and he's a God-fearing creature, which is of course ironic. And he's really not evil. He's just been dealt a bad hand. And I really like that the movie stuck with that.
Mm-hmm.
So I was really happy to see that.
I think this movie would have been better if the rest of it were in black and white.
I don't know if it'd be better. I think it'd be more of a novelty that way.
I really enjoy the first scene and then I think it kind of goes downhill from there, and has a couple like upkicks here and there. But I think I would have enjoyed it more if it was in black and white.
I think if that would have been one of the early decisions. I think that, because here's the thing, I think there's a major tonal shift from like after they have the first fight with the vampires in that village, after the like the scene where they fight the werewolf, there's a major tonal shift. I think then it becomes like this really cliched action movie. Before that, it has this very like, it feels like an updated classic Universal movie in both like the style and the tone. I think after that is when it really starts to go downhill, at least for me. I think the first like 45 minutes of this movie are really promising, and then the movie just kind of goes like, oh, wait a minute, this is a mid-2000s action movie. Bring on the Matrix. So, that's kind of how I feel.
No, like I have this mental image of just like the characters having this really good in-depth scene, and then like suddenly looking at the camera, and like Van Helsing and Dracula. It's after that scene. It's like Van Helsing and Dracula have their scene together, and with the whole heartbeat, and then like I feel like it's about to end, and they just like look at the camera and go, "Oh shit, that's right. We're in a crappy 2000s action movie. Oh, let's ham it up, guys."
I could get another wife.
I don't.
And then they start like having a karate fight. Yeah.
I don't know. I do like the fight between the werewolf and the bat monster.
I can't see anything.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's too quick. I think that there's too many sparks. I think it should have been on the top of the castle, and I think there should have been lightning in the background, not in a cramped lab, because I can't see a damn thing.
Well, no, because if they'd put it inside at the top of the castle, then Dracula would have clearly had the advantage and should have won with ease.
Not necessarily. That being said,
all he would have had to do was you know how many times Werewolf Van Helsing grabbed him when he was in mid-flight? All he would have had to do was go, "Okay, go ahead, kill me in the air. Let's see how that works out for you."
Whatever. Also, another cliche that's not an action movie cliche, but that's just a movie cliche. We have to do this before midnight.
True.
I was like, why are we bringing Cinderella into this?
Well, the thing is, it clearly doesn't even matter that it happens during midnight. You notice that?
It's just a stupid plot contrivance. It means nothing.
Well, no, but that's the thing is Van Helsing, like, the first tone shifts, and you hear Van Helsing say 1, and then he turns into the werewolf, and then suddenly it's like, okay, so every time he turns back, he's going to be counting the dings. But you never hear another ding, he never mentions it again, and it's clearly a longer fight than 12 dings of a clock.
Yeah, it's just, as I said, this movie really starts to fall apart for me in the last half.
I enjoy the fight. I think it's a really cool fight. I can clearly see what's going on. When was the last time you watched it, like, in HD, I guess?
About a month and a half ago.
Really? Huh. What prompted you to watch Van Helsing randomly?
Oh, it was Halloween, and it was longer than a month and a half ago. It was like the week before Hurricane Sandy hit. And I was on a Universal Monsters binge, so I was like, I'm gonna watch Van Helsing again, and I was like, wow, this movie is really cliche, but I still goddamn love it. Okay, let me get into another cliche. We talked about Van Helsing's past. What about frickin' Kate Beckinsale and her family bullshit? I was so uninvested in that storyline. I was like, just get this bitch off screen. Kate Beckinsale is drop dead gorgeous. She plays a much better horror movie inspired role in Underworld, and those movies aren't that great anyway. And in this movie, she's just kind of a bitch for the sake of it.
Yeah, I don't know. The thing that ruins their family for me is he's doing this so the family can get into heaven, but it was old dude that said, my family won't get into heaven until we banish Dracula. So it's like, it's totally his fault. And then you find out he had the chance to banish Dracula and he didn't.
Yeah, because he's his goddamn son. It's like, then why did you... Here's another thing. I think the universe is not fully realized. I think that there's a really good attempt to make this an extremely, like, comprehensive and really cool monster universe. it feels half-hearted to me. Like, I feel like at points it's just lazy. I like the idea of the only thing that can really kill Dracula being a werewolf. I like the scene where Kate Beckinsale says, "Don't you think we tried wooden stakes?" I mean, it's like that's the first thing you would go. Don't you think we tried to burn him in the sunlight? You know, it's like nothing really worked. Well, there's also a really cool reference to Rasputin in that regard. So yeah, it's like I really like that they tried. It just at points it feels like that cool idea to make this a really cool monster movie universe gets squashed under the action movie cliches. So that's probably in the end my biggest, most objective criticism of Van Helsing is the cliches. They really bog down the potential of the movie, and while they're fun at points, I do think that the movie would be much better off if it was more devoted to the idea of being an up-to-date Universal monster rumble, you know, with some modern updates are of course necessary, but I still think that the action movie cliches really bog that down.
Alright, what'd you think of the comedy in this movie, David?
I really didn't notice much of the comedy at all.
Really?
So I just thought, it's right there for humorous purpose. It's not really funny, but it's more flat, but you kind of understand the humorous gesture of it. Carl is the obvious comic relief of the film, but
oh, that's his name.
Yeah, Carl.
Oh, okay. I didn't know. I didn't remember his name.
As much as the comedy is bad, I really like Carl's performance.
Yeah, he's fun. I think his best scene is his first scene in the in Rome when he's showing off all the gadgets, which you know, clearly kind of a nod to James Bond in all the Q scenes. In the workshop, and I really dug that. But I think that's his best scene comedy wise, especially when he you know that fluid that later on Van Helsing uses to like vaporize all the vampires. When he first shows that off, he says and he says something like, "Oh, so many years of developing it, yet I still don't know what it's for." And he says, "I thought you would know what it does." He's like, "I do know what it does. I just don't know what it's for."
Yeah.
I really like that scene. Not yet, but I'm with David. Not much of the comedy is really all that funny.
See, the one joke that really, really works for me is when when they open the carriage that's got the monster in it, and he says, "Is that a man?" And Van Helsing goes, "Actually, it's 7."
Yes, I like that too. Yeah. I also really like the part where this is where Van Helsing really comes to life for me. When they're down in Frankenstein's monster's lair, and they're walking around trying to figure out what the hell lives down there. And Van Helsing starts like deducing all these different things, and it would make sense for a monster hunter to have to do this. And he's looking around, he notices, oh, it's carnivorous, it's got a limp in its right leg, it's religious, so it's human. And then, like, Kate Beckinsale's character turns around, and he says, and he has 7 copper teeth. And then she says, "How do you know that?" And he's like, "'Cause he's standing right behind you." I love that part.
Yeah, that was good. I don't know, just the one line that really worked. Like, I remember laughing back when I first watched this, but every time I watch it, the comedy gets more and more bland to me. But the line that really does work for me is just, "Is that a man?" Actually, it's 7, because you always kind of forget that. Like, you know it about the Frankenstein monster whenever you think about it, but you kind of just forget it when you get into the character, that it's a bunch of corpses sewn together.
Yeah, and to praise Kenneth Branagh's Frankenstein for once, that's one of the coolest ideas brought up in his version, where he's like, there's a scene later on where Dr. Frankenstein is talking to the monster, and the monster starts playing a flute, and Victor's like, "How the hell did you learn how to play the flute?" He's like, "I don't know. I just can." I really like that part. And that was the Robert De Niro Frankenstein monster. God, for freaking weirdo. I think that
I just remembered. Did you see Dylan Dog?
I did not. I was going to, but I was like, Brandon Routh in an action movie, not my thing.
It's not really an action movie.
No?
It's more of a detective story.
Oh,
it's
interesting.
a detective story with movie monsters.
Ooh, I might have to see that now.
Yeah. I guess it's not what we were talking about earlier with can you make a good movie with these iconic characters? It's got the iconic monsters, but not the iconic characters. Like, it's got vampires, it's got werewolves, it's got zombies, but it doesn't have Dracula, it doesn't have the Wolfman, it doesn't have Frankenstein's monster. I don't think it has an anagram for Frankenstein's monster, actually.
Well, I think the closest thing you get to like a generic Frankenstein's monster is a zombie.
Yeah, kind of,
because there's actually versions of the Frankenstein story where they call the monster a zombie.
Well, I mean, like, I guess kind of it works that way because the zombie, like, one of the characters gets turned into a zombie, and he goes to a body shop, and it was a great play on words because it's literally a body shop where as a zombie you can buy body parts and have them sewn back onto you.
Oh, that is so weird and cool.
Yeah, so I guess it's kind of got that Frankenstein bit there. I don't know. It's okay. It's certainly more. It's less cliche than this.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm definitely interested in checking it out. Like I didn't know where it was playing, so I was like, I don't know, where I can see this. I know it's on DVD now, so I should probably check it out. But yeah, just overall, my biggest problem with Van Helsing is the action movie cliches.
Yeah, I can see that. I don't know. There's something, like, I don't think we've even hit on it yet. There's just something about this movie that just makes me intrinsically like it. Because I'm not a monster movie fan in the same sense that you are, Bill. And I'm not, like, I don't love it for the action like you do, David. There's just something about it that I'm like, oh yes, Van Helsing.
Ian, let me try and hit it on the head for you. Do you like the Indiana Jones movies?
Not, I enjoy them, I don't love them or anything.
Well, maybe there's some kind of, like, I don't know, I think part of what makes Van Helsing fun to watch is this classic sense of adventure that it brings. And it's not a movie that takes itself too seriously. It's just kind of a fun adventure. We travel from place to place. There's a map that shows us where we're going. There's a mysterious action hero walking around in the shadows with a trench coat and cool weapons and a big hat and a scarf around his mouth. It's awesome. I think that's, at least for me, that's kind of the core of what makes this movie fun to watch. It has an ambiance about it, for sure. That really, it makes it a fun experience. Just this very, like, old school adventure kind of feeling. Again, I just think the thing that drags that down is the early 2000s action cliches.
I don't know, I guess that's part of it. I think it's the monsters, and I'm not a monster movie fan in that sense. I would say I'm a fan of the monster movies, but I have you on the line, Bill, so I can't say that.
Yeah.
Because, like, I feel like if I do, you're gonna be like, really? What happened in this movie, in this scene, at this point in time?
No, I won't. I mean,
I know, I'm kidding. I still feel that way.
You're still scared.
No, I feel like I can't really say that with you on the line, because I'm just going to completely be embarrassed if you ask me any question. I'm such a novice to it. I've always liked the characters. Like I said, my favorite old-fashioned monster is the werewolf. I don't know what it is. It's just it's fun, but I don't like it because it's fun. I like it because there's just something that I intrinsically enjoy about this movie. And I wanted to do this because I wanted to see if there was something that could be revealed through the process of discussing it.
It's still unspoken.
Yeah, and I mean we've got plenty of time to go. We got to fill at least another 10 minutes.
Yeah. I mean, we could try and hit it. I said what I like most about it. I love the monster movie callbacks. I love the old school adventure stuff. I like the idea of this new Van Helsing. I like the mysterious big hat wearing guy who runs around in the darkness slaying monsters. That's all cool to me. I like this. I like the universe for the most part. That's the thing that really drives this movie home for me. David, generalize. What makes you want to pop in Van Helsing? What do you like most about the movie?
That question was for me?
Yes, I said David.
Okay. Okay. Wasn't I just asked this question like 20 minutes ago?
Yeah.
All right. Well, okay. Well, we're just trying to narrow down, like, because Ian doesn't know why he likes this movie so much.
Oh,
so
okay.
I just kind, I want to try and like because I said it's the it's what I just said, and like what is it for you? Just like very generalized, like what about this movie makes you want to pop it in?
It's just a very adventurous film. It's everything I would love to see in a action adventure or horror action film rolled into one, and it delivers on what it promises: fun, silly, entertainment. And on top of that, it pays homage to the classic Universal monster films, like you said. It does a whole bunch of these things like, I see what you did there. It just, it's a very great film to watch. Of course, it's not the type of film that's going to win awards. Yeah, it has its flaws, but, it's the flaws that, make it charming. Not all of them, but the whole film in general is charming because of Hugh Jackman and what's the name of the actor who plays Dracula again?
I forget his name. Richard
Crap.
something.
Richard, yeah.
Creepy guy who does an awesome accent.
I don't know, like, I agree, I enjoy both of those things about the movie, but it's not what draws me to it, I guess. I don't know what it is. I don't even know if it can be said, because that's the thing, is it's a critical failure. That's obvious. There's nothing that's critically good about this movie in a certain sense.
And I think that's potentially part of it too. Is like
there is no meta level to this movie in any sense.
No.
You will never convince me that this movie is saying something more than what it's showing.
No. Because then they'd be lying. And
yeah, I mean, like, if you said that, I would laugh at your face because you're wrong.
Yeah.
Because that's what I do when someone's wrong. Instead of being understanding and explaining it to them, I just laugh in their face. God, that would be really horrible if I actually did that.
No, it's okay. Me and David have done it all the time with fans of Godzilla 1998. This guy over here makes a living out of it, dude. I mean, every time he gets a chance, he just curb stomps Godzilla 98 fans.
Bill, I wouldn't talk about 98 yet. You don't know what's gonna happen.
Oh, shut up, Ian.
You might have to say that you love that movie.
The fight hasn't happened yet.
I know, that's pissing me off.
It's been over a week now. I mean,
right? I don't know. I'm just it's hard to narrow down what I like about Van Helsing. It's enjoyable, it's fun, but I don't like it because it's enjoyable and fun. It's got monsters in it, but I don't like it just because it has monsters in it. Maybe I like it just because it's the best design of the werewolf. Maybe I like it because because of the guy that plays Dracula and how he interacts with Hugh Jackman. Maybe I like it because Kate Beckinsale's cleavage.
That's a good reason too. We forgot to bring that up. We should talk about that for 25 minutes now.
That's all the reason you need.
Yeah, hell yeah. Hell yeah. It's like, they should put that on the back of the box. Kate Beckinsale's
Kate Beckinsale shows cleavage. Oh! I'm renting this.
Hell, I'm buying it on Blu-ray.
I don't know. Like I said, it's a hard movie to go down. Maybe it's a conglomerate of those things, though I still don't think so. Like, I feel like someone's gonna leave a comment on this video saying, oh, I like it because of this, and be like, yes, that was it. Why weren't you in the conversation? Person that I don't know.
They're gonna be like, I like that one guy. Maybe it's the creepy grave robber guy.
Oh, I do love him. He was awesome.
He's awesome too.
Dude, he measured people as they walked into town.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, he does not bother me. We have a mutual acquaintance. Of course he had to have a creepy German accent.
Oh, of course.
I love that scene where he's talking about the wolf and he's just like, yeah, we have a mutual acquaintance.
I don't know, maybe it's Igor. Igor was pretty awesome in this.
He should have had more screen time, I think.
Oh, just some of his lines just That helps me.
Oh yeah.
He's just shot in the
I love the part where Dracula was like, "Why are you so cruel to that creature, Igor?" I don't know.
I enjoy it.
That, and I also love the part where he says to Dracula, like, "Stomp on people before they stomp on you."
Yeah.
I really like that part too.
That is.
There's a lot to like here for sure. It doesn't all it doesn't really mesh
You know
well.
what this movie needs? You know what this movie needs is a good fan edit.
This movie needs a different director.
No, I don't think so. I think I think editing could save this movie and actually make it less cliche.
I don't know. I think another script, like just some revisions to the script, could have made for a more enjoyable movie. I think if this movie was would have waited a few years, I think it could have been something. If it distanced itself from like the early 2000s action cliches. I don't know. I feel like that's the biggest thing that holds this movie down. I think that like a couple of more scripts and we would have had something really cool. Maybe even one more script. I don't know, but I think that like some changes to the script, maybe a different director, maybe some casting changes, just a couple of things, and you could have yourself a really cool adventure action horror movie.
I don't know, maybe. It seems plausible. I don't want to say that it's not plausible. I can't imagine doing these characters together on screen any better than they already did.
Oh, no, I don't agree at all. I think, well, even then, just this premise alone of like, just take the movie we have, give it another script, give it a couple of new things. I think we could have something really cool here. I don't even think that this movie fully does what it sets out to do. I think it gets close. I just don't think that it fully embraces that. Again, I think that it gets bogged down by things.
You know the other movie where I have this exact same feeling of I like it, but I have no idea why I like it so much?
What?
And I think it came out around the same time. League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Oh, I think they're comparable.
Yeah,
I'm glad you brought that up because when I was a kid, I thought that this movie was connected to the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Yeah, they had similar production teams, so.
I don't know, I'm just saying, like, I think, Bill, I think we need to add League of Extraordinary Gentlemen to our short list.
Yeah, we do. For sure.
Someone, just next time we do a review, someone might need to pick that. I don't know, it's one of those things. It's got that same feel of just these conglomerates of characters that we all seem to think exist in the same world for some reason.
Well, it's because of Universal.
Yeah. Yeah.
And also, one thing I find funny is that this movie, because I think some people, when they saw the movie and they knew what it was harkening back to, I feel like some people thought this was in continuity with it because, I don't know, just some people think that for some reason. Like, they just because they think that there are similar characters, that automatically makes it in continuity. I really like the time period they set this in. I really like how it's back when, like, not Frankenstein, because Frankenstein was written, like, in the early 1800s, but, like, when Dracula, when Dracula was, like, published, when horror literature was becoming really, really popular, like, in the late 1800s. I like that that's when they set it. I think that that's a good idea.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know why I brought that up even. I apologize.
I agree. I mean, the time period worked. What surprised me, because I just watched it again, like, maybe an hour or so before this call started. What surprised me, which I never really noticed before, is the flashback scene takes place in 1887, and then the rest of the movie is set 1 year later.
It feels like such a greater distance than that.
Yeah, for some reason I always thought it was like decades later. I have no idea why.
I think part of it is because of the tonal shift, color-wise. It goes from black and white to color.
Yeah, that's part of it. But I mean, the thing is, we've been using the black and white as the past cliche for so long now. We've been using black and white as the past since almost the invention of color film.
True.
And I think there's something to that. That's a good idea. I don't know. It's one of those things. it's just stuck in my head somewhere for some reason.
That said, I recommend this movie to both people who are big fans of the Universal Monsters, but more than that, if there are any parents listening to this, which I don't know why there would be, if there are any parents listening to this who have or even like uncles and aunts and cousins, you know, like older brothers and sisters who have like an adolescent relative, like, you know, like 10 to 15, show them this movie because I think they'll love it. I think that it'll have something for them where they'll be like, wow, that was really fun. And I think that even as like a jumping on point to the Universal Monsters, it's pretty good for that. So I would recommend this movie to those two demographics, and also people who just love, you know, kind of corny, over-the-top action movies.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I'd recommend this movie to just about anyone that wants to, like, hey, you know any good, like, movies that got, you know, Dracula and all them guys together? Yeah, sure, Van Helsing. I said good movies. Right.
The Monster Squad, right.
Well,
which actually has Van Helsing in it.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I mean, it's better than Dracula Dead and Loving It.
Oh, Mel Brooks. What'd you go wrong?
It was such a great premise, and it really did have like the thing about that movie is you could see the drafts from earlier scripts were in that movie, but so much of it got cut out.
It's very clear that it was an idea being like played with for years.
Yeah.
And then when they did it, they were like, "Oh, we have to make this now." Huh.
Well, I wish he'd just done it like he did Young Frankenstein, because
yeah, for sure, because that movie is fucking brilliant. And Dracula Dead and Loving It is not. If you want to see a really cool Dracula spoof comedy, watch Love at First Bite. The production values are not that great, but the writing is really good, and the guy who plays Dracula is perfect. Because there's this really funny scene where he drinks the blood of a drunk hobo, and he gets drunk and goes on like a self-destructive rampage. It's really funny.
I don't know, like Dracula Dead and Loving It had a couple scenes that were really funny, like with Bram Stoker. Not Bram. What the fuck? Where did that come from? With Van Helsing trying to kill the girl before she could turn into a vampire, and just getting fucking covered in blood. That makes me laugh every time I watch it. I don't know.
All right.
I think we're just about done with Van Helsing. We've said everything we can think of to say. Any final thoughts, David or Bill?
I think I've exhausted my mental resources on Van Helsing.
David?
Oh, what was the question?
Any final thoughts on Van Helsing?
Nothing much other than I kind of after hearing you guys rape the movie too much, I kind of like would conclude that I probably love this better than you guys did, because I love it for what it is. Although I'm not gonna over-glorify this film the way Adam over-glorifies Hedorah, but
oh God! Do we really have to go there, David?
No, I'm
now he's going.
I mean,
do you want him to kill me? Because you're gonna cause that.
I seen the review. I know what that nigga's gonna say, but shit, I got shit prepared. No, I'm just kidding. But back to Van Helsing.
Personal problems we have on the Sarazawa.
But okay, inside jokes, and that's the thing, is this series has gotten so inside jokey.
As it has.
Anyway, yeah, all right. So final thoughts for me. Like I said, I don't have anything left to say about it. Next week, Bill, are you gonna try to join Milan and I next week?
Yeah, I should be able to join. My college applications are done, and I just gotta wait for the reply. So yeah, I'm down.
Okay, so then this really should be your topic. Like, I expect that Milan and I will have like 3 sentences to say in the whole video next week, because we're going to be discussing horror in fiction.
Booyah!
Yeah, like if I will be surprised if I don't have to ask you to shut up next week. Anyway, yeah, we're going to be discussing horror in fiction, and like I said, I really want Skype-ins, people. Come on, it'll be cool. It's a really good idea for a segment. Help me out, people.
Help us make this more like a radio show, damn it.
Yeah, I mean, really, it's such a good idea, and I don't know why more podcasts haven't tried to do it. Like, the only reason that I can conceive of is that we're not popular enough, but we got, like, a consistent number of views, so one of you, record your voice on the subject of horror in fiction and send it in, please. Because I really would like to do that. And you can send it to me over Skype, SidPart2, or you can PM me a download link on through the YouTube thing here. No, just come on. It'll be fun. Not a lot of people are noticing this, but worth mentioning. If you don't have an hour or two to listen or leave a YouTube page open, yada yada, you can download episodes of Geeky Gentlemen from podmatic.com. They're not on there forever, but like I have to take them off. But I think I have like a 3-month cycle. So yeah, go to check it out. Link's always in the description. And if there's an old episode that's not up anymore that you want, I'll feel free to PM me. I'll get it to you. Yeah, that's about it, I think. Sorry, exasperated a little bit here. Until next time, we're Geeky Gentlemen. We'll be discussing things.